Okay, today I'm going to show you how to strengthen up your sand scoops. As you can see, mine has a serious issue. It literally bends over, and if you watch any of my videos, you'll see me complaining about it the whole time. Now, I've had this thing for, I don't know, close to a year, and I've been bending it back, and you can see what happens. So it's finally started to break, and in my personal opinion, for the amount of money that you pay for a scoop, this kind of thing should never happen. So I purposely put a piece of tape over the vendor's logo, manufacturer, excuse me, because really, in all reality, I don't think they deserve any free advertisements due to the product's issues. I've actually called them, their customer service line. They never return my phone call. And now I'm just going to have to fix it myself. So you can get this welded. I've heard of many people doing that. You can see here, right where it bends. But anyway, for the amount of money that you pay for these things, they should last. And in Florida, I only dig in sugar sand on the beach. I exclusively hunt the beach. So if there's rocks, which is hardly ever, I'm real sensitive to that fact. But this is purely from sugar sand on Gulf Coast beaches in Florida. So anyway, enough crying about it. I've got a modification that we're going to make to it, and we'll see if it works. I got a big trip coming up here in the next couple days, so I want to get this thing fixed because the other scoop that I bought is way smaller than this, and it's just a hassle to dig up. Now, here's another issue with it. You know, okay, salt water creates corrosion. I also realize that welding creates corrosion. Okay? But look at that. This is just not quality material for the amount of money that they charge for these things. So anyway, we'll get to fixing it. Okay, so here's all the items you're going to need to complete this. I bought some plated bar stock, 1 3/8 inch wide by 4 foot long, 14 gauge, supposedly plated at Lowe's, because that's the closest place to me, and that's what they had. I'll mention this again in a second, but you can, well, I'll do it now. So you can see the thickness of it. It does have some bend to it, not much. It's actually kind of sturdy. It's already pre-drilled with the holes, which is the reason why I went with this to start with. I may end up doing it again if this doesn't work. They had some regular bar stock there that was thicker, but it wasn't drilled, and I was just trying to save myself time since I got a trip coming up. You're going to need some kind of nuts and bolts to actually secure it in there. I got the shortest possible. As you can see, I got the 1/4 inch by 20 millimeter, 1/2 inch. slotted head. I've got the lock washers that actually fit. In this case, they were 6mm. I got some thread locker because I don't feel like messing with it when I'm out digging all day. And this should keep it tight. 7/16 inch wrench, slotted head screwdriver, something to mark your metal with, something to cut it with. I have a metal blade on this thing to start with, so I pop that out. Or you can actually cut it with your grinder. In my case, I'll probably use the hacksaw, just because my blade's so thick. I may clean it up with this though, but we'll see. But anyway, that's the materials that you need to do this mod. I'll be back in a second. So the first thing you want to do is mark your item, mark your bar stock rather, right down the middle on where you want to cut it. Now, in my case, I'm going to do 2 pieces of this, one on each side. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces this length. So once you have your pieces cut to length for your center, I wanted to mention you want to pound this thing out as straight as possible, so you're not putting any stress on it once you put the nuts and bolts on. So I'm going to pound this out and I'll be right back. So first, lay out one of your reinforcement pieces and put one of your bolts in. In this case, I did go ahead and use some washers that I had laying around because I really want to anchor it on a couple points. So anyway, once you do that, then find where your center is or where you want to be and lay it out. So in my case, that's right where I want to be, right there. There's really no center, so just be aware of that. And then once you do that, you can put your other side in. And you can bolt that up. You see which side works better. You can always trim. In this case, it doesn't really matter. I didn't really care if I cut these straight because I knew I was gonna grind them at the end to fit. So I just got pretty close. And like I said, I'll be grinding them at the end to finish them. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt that up and we'll come back. In this case, I'm going to use red thread locker. I was out. I usually use blue, but I was out of blue, so I was also out of red. So I just bought red for the moment because they didn't have blue in the liquid or the stick. So anyway, yes, I'm using lock washers, but again, I don't want to be messing with this thing when I'm 100 miles away from my tools. Okay, so I've got the first one in, and as you can see, you know, it's not going to exactly line up in every case, but get it the best you can. And I'm going to put several more bolts on it to hold it in. Okay, so you can see where I ended up. I could have put more nuts and bolts on it, but I figured that's going to hold really well. That really strengthened it up. You see how it ended up on this side. Could have done a little bit better on with some correct washers here, but that was what I had, plus there was the zinc. So anyway, that's how it looks there. I just ground the tip down, make it even. This piece I'm really not worried about. I'll probably clean that up with the grinder. This piece on the back, I think for now I'm going to leave that there, because it's a little place for your foot, kind of keep it from slipping. So I don't usually dig barefoot, so that might just help with a little grip. Anyway, you can see I got a definite issue right here, and where it's broken the whole way, and we're going to try to fix that now, see what I can come up with. Probably just going to go with the piece right across there, but it may take a couple. It may take a piece across here and a piece across there, but I'm hoping. Okay, so here we are with the finished product. You know, everybody's is going to be different depending if you have breaks or creases, or you just want to reinforce it before the same thing that happened to me happens to you. So anyway, with that said, I had to go on the side here and do it a little differently because of the break. I just fabricated a piece to go across the side there. Like I said, I used what I could get or what I had. I probably spent $15 on this whole scenario, instead of spending $300, $400, $500, $600 for a new scoop. But there you go. Yes, you know, in the end, it does limit your ability to sift because of the plates that you put on there. But in the end, I'm going to go back to it was cheaper than a new scoop. Plus, I got a trip coming up that we're leaving in the morning for, and I tried a smaller scoop, and that didn't really work out for me because you spend half the day digging. So with that said, people, America needs to get back to ingenuity. Is that the best it could be? Absolutely not. But we need to get back to our grandfathers and great-grandfathers that lived out in the middle of nowhere with nothing but their tools and their ingenuity. And teach this stuff to your children. This only took me like a half an hour. Again, it's not perfect. Is it ugly? Absolutely it is, but ugly. But in the end, I got the size scoop that I want, and we'll see how it works. You'll see it in some of the videos. So that's it for now. Covered up logo. Thank you for selling me a scoop that only worked for about a month digging in sand. Fixed it myself. There it is. Ready for the trip.